My name is Ngayat Kai, a useless girl pampered by my family since childhood. The fortune teller once said that my destiny lacked hardship, and without experiencing it, I couldn't achieve anything great. My family thought I had no bright future. As the only daughter in a wealthy family, growing up in luxury, how could I ever experience hardship? In fact, I had come to terms with it. If there was no hardship, I would find it myself. Only a fool would avoid it. Then one day, I discovered a truth. I had been swapped at birth. My real family lived in a rural village called Caution Village, so hardship was coming. I packed my bags and decided to leave late that night. My mother held onto my suitcase, sobbing uncontrollably. "Ngayat, my daughter, in your father and my hearts you will always be our daughter." My father stood beside her, his face contorted in a frown. "This can still be negotiated, you don't have to go to such an extreme." My heart ached. I realized how much they loved me. My parents called out softly, their voices choked. "Thank you, Mom and Dad, for taking care of me all these years, but this isn't fair to Lamdia. She's your biological daughter, and she must have lived a very hard life in the countryside. I have to give her back the life that belongs to her." I tried not to cry as I pulled my suitcase past them. If I stayed any longer, I was afraid I would weaken. "Let her go," a voice echoed from behind. I turned and saw Lamdia standing at the top of the stairs. She looked very much like my mother, with her curved eyes and gentle expression. "Sister," she said, "don't worry, I'll take good care of Mom and Dad." "All right," I said, waving my hand decisively. "I'm leaving now, don't miss me." I didn't let my family see me off, instead taking a taxi directly to the place called Caution Village. I was extremely nervous, finally getting to experience hardship. The car vibrated for nearly 7 hours until the driver stopped in front of a stretch of greenhouses that extended to the horizon. "Girl, we're at Caution Village, right here." I stepped out of the car, faced with vast greenhouses shimmering under the sunset. I was a little confused. Wasn't this supposed to be a backward, rural place? These greenhouses looked even more magnificent than the agricultural model park in my city. As I stood there bewildered, a middle-aged man smoking a cigarette rode up on a tricycle, stopping in front of me and scrutinizing me from head to toe. "Is that Ngayat?" I hesitated for a moment, then nodded. He beamed a bright smile. "It's your dad, Lam Bao Kwok. Get in, I'll take you home. Your face looks pale, you must be tired from the long ride, right?" Still stunned, I climbed into the back of the tricycle. Bao Kwok stepped on the pedal, and the tricycle immediately sped off like the wind, carrying a cool breeze. "Dad, what are all these greenhouses?" I asked loudly, holding my shaking suitcase as the vehicle bounced up and down. "Oh, nothing special," Bao Kwok said without even turning around, a cigarette dangling from his mouth. "They're just what we use to make a living, growing a few vegetables. This area here, that area there, and over there too. Not much. Probably about 5,000 acres in total, all ours." 5,000 acres, and he calls it not much? What was happening? Was my family actually vegetable-growing tycoons? The tricycle turned in and out of paths, finally stopping in front of a vast farm estate. The yard was spotless, and a simple 5-story European-style building stood tall with gleaming tiled bricks, a far cry from the mud-walled, dilapidated house I had imagined. Weren't they supposed to be so poor they had nothing? Why was the information so different? A woman with a gentle face, wearing an apron, ran out of the house. When she saw me, her eyes welled up. "Ngayat, my daughter." She embraced me tightly. This was my biological mother, Vuong Kwefan. She pulled me from room to room, her joy boundless. "This is your room. Your dad and I cleaned it all up when we heard you were coming home. Look at this bed, it's solid wood. And that wardrobe, it reaches the ceiling. The curtains, too, with real lace trim. Do you like it?" I looked around the completely pink, princess-like room. I tried to force a smile. "I love it, Mom, thank you." "Oh, my dear, as long as you like it, that's all that matters. It's good that you like it." Vuong Kwefan became even more joyful, then suddenly remembered something. She mysteriously pulled me to the bathroom. "Ngayat, come look, I told your dad to go to the city center to buy this. I heard everyone in the city uses it." I followed her gaze and saw a brand new smart toilet standing silently in the bathroom, emitting a brilliant technological glow. "Is this a smart toilet?" "Yes, exactly, a smart toilet. It rinses and dries automatically. Very high-tech, try it." She was very excited, and though I was a bit down, I tried the smart toilet. It was truly comfortable, just like home. After finishing, I stepped out and saw my mother, Vuong Kwefan, using something shiny to scrub the sink. Looking closely, I nearly fainted. It was a Metalino gold-plated toilet brush, a limited edition of only 999 produced worldwide. "Mom, what are you doing?" I blurted out, surprised. Vuong Kwe Fan looked up. "I'm scrubbing the sink for you." I pointed at the toilet brush. That thing? "Oh, don't misunderstand. This is a new brush I bought especially for you. Isn't it beautiful?" Staring at the dazzling golden brush, I was speechless. Downstairs, my father, Bao Kwok, was on the phone in the middle of the yard, full of fervor. "Yes, the organic cucumbers will be delivered on schedule tomorrow." "What, the price?" "Same as usual. Lam Bao Kwok's vegetables are worth every penny." The next morning, my mother pulled me out of bed. "Ngayat, wake up. Today's a big market day. I'm taking you to buy new clothes." Still sleepy, I tried to roll over. "Mom, no need. I have clothes already." "Nonsense. The clothes at our village market are very fashionable." Ms. Vuong Kwe Fan was surprisingly strong, pulling me up forcefully and handing me a canvas bag with "rich rice" written on it. "Come on, let's go to the market with your dad." The market was right at the eastern end of the village. It was as crowded as a festival, very lively. I was amazed by what they called caution village fashion. The stalls weren't selling the red and green padded jackets I had imagined. For instance, there was a stall selling fur coats. The mink coat was shiny and smooth. "Excuse me, how much is this mink coat?" "Is Mr. Lamb buying it for his daughter? This is genuine purple mink, 30,000. "Good, buy it." I quickly pulled him back. "Dad, I'm not cold. It's too expensive. We shouldn't buy it." 30,000. For a vegetable farmer, they'd have to sell a lot of vegetables to get that much money. I knew this well. "Expensive? What's expensive?" Bao Kwok's eyes widened. He scanned the QR code for payment and wrapped it up immediately. I held the 30,000-unit mink coat, standing in front of a grilled pork hock stall, feeling like I was in a dream. "Why are you just standing there? Eat." Vuong Kwe Fan handed me a pork hock, then pointed to the stall next door. "Hey dear, buy our daughter that gold necklace." I felt a chill run down my spine, praying it wasn't one of those finger-thick gold chains. In the end, I received an exquisitely woven corn necklace. These were dried golden corn cobs, woven together, both beautiful and bringing good luck. It was truly beautiful. After that, I was continuously stuffed with grilled corn, sticky bean cakes, and rice flour rolls until my stomach was as round as a drum. Vuong Kwe Fan looked at me and shed tears of pity. "Look at you, so ravenous. You must only eat unappetizing things in the city, right?" Chewing on the pork hock, I didn't know how to refute her. After eating my fill, my father waved his hand and said, "Come on, daughter, I'll take you to see the outside a bit." Looking towards the endless stretch of greenhouses, I took a deep breath, suddenly remembering his promise yesterday to take me to water the fields. And now, the time had come. I was mentally prepared, ready to work until I was exhausted, even imagining myself becoming dark and skinny like a piece of coal. But I was determined to escape the label of useless person. No matter how difficult, I would endure it. "Let's go, time to water the vegetables." Stepping into the greenhouse, lush green vegetables grew profusely. My father approached a control panel, took out his phone, and opened an app. "Daughter, look closely. This is how we water our vegetables." He tapped once, and immediately, a system of metal pipes with numerous small spray nozzles slowly descended from the greenhouse ceiling. A fine white mist sprayed out like rain, a fully automated mist irrigation system for efficient watering. My eyes widened at the artificial rain. Like a dumbfounded deer returning from the city to the countryside, did they have such high-tech methods for watering vegetables now? "Dad, is this what you call watering vegetables?" "What else would it be?" Bao Kwok put away his phone, his face full of course. "This is much more convenient, isn't it? You use your phone to control the humidity and temperature. It adjusts automatically." "What's wrong, daughter? Do you want to try the traditional way? I still have 2 water buckets." That evening, I lay in bed, digesting the food in my stomach while also trying to process the surreal day I had just experienced. My phone vibrated on the pink lace-trimmed bedside table. The screen showed Lamdia's name. I answered, and her familiar rural voice came through. "Sister, how are things? Are you settling in?" The affectionate question choked me up. It took a while before I could speak. It's okay, it's just, this house of yours. No, ours asterisk. What exactly is it?" In my mind, Caution Village was dirt roads, dilapidated houses, oil lamps, and 3 dry corn cakes a day. But the reality was thousands of acres of greenhouses, a 5-story villa, a smart toilet, and even a dazzling gold-plated toilet brush like a divine artifact. The information gap wasn't just a ditch, it was a Grand Canyon. "Didn't our dad tell you, we're farmers?" I scratched my head. "I know, it's so different from what I imagined." She laughed. I get it. Dad probably forgot to mention it. Our family practices high-tech agriculture, specializing in organic vegetables. High-tech agriculture? I struggled to comprehend. That's right, all our greenhouses are fully automated. Humidity, temperature are adjusted automatically, with drip irrigation combined with fertilization. Pests and diseases are monitored by drones and treated biologically. Those cucumbers and tomatoes you saw, they're grown in collaboration with the Institute of Agricultural Sciences, using the most advanced photosynthesis-boosting techniques. But you probably wouldn't understand any of this, sister. In truth, I really didn't understand. But I was truly stunned. So, my biological father, Lam Bao Kwok, the simple farmer who smoked a pipe and rode a tricycle, was actually an anonymous agricultural tech magnate. I then remembered my mother, holding the gold-trimmed toilet brush and waving it around to scrub. You know what? Mom bought you a gold-plated toilet brush. Lamdia paused for a moment, then said, Oh, that? She heard you were coming home and insisted on going to the provincial city to buy the best stuff, saying a city girl needs good things. For the brush, maybe the salesperson exaggerated a bit. Mom saw the gold trim and thought it must be high quality. Oh, right, sister, I called because I wanted to ask you something. I immediately sat up. What is it? Tell me. I guess she was facing pressure from Aunt Tu's family again and wasn't in a good mood. That family was notoriously stingy, so these issues were never openly discussed. I needed to comfort her, advise her not to overthink things. On the other end, her voice hesitated slightly. I proactively said, Whatever it is, just tell me. I'll help if I can. It's about the watering system in the garden, I asked. The watering system? How do I change it to green onion growing mode, sister? What is it? Today I dug a patch of earth and planted some green onions and cilantro, but no matter how I adjust it, it keeps watering roses. I held the phone, surprised. Is that all? Isn't that quite complicated? I just want to grow vegetables so I'll have something convenient and delicious to eat later. I looked outside and saw the dark greenhouses with their smart control systems and blinking lights. I remember the automatic plant recognition irrigation system at the Kai family villa. It clearly couldn't recognize green onions. Listen, you need to select Custom Crop from page 3 of the system menu. Type in green onions, adjust the watering frequency, and you're done. Oh, okay, I'll try it right now. You go to bed early, sister. The next morning, my mother suggested that since I was home, I should formally introduce myself to the villagers. She said, How about we throw a party? A party it is. My father, Bao Kwok, slapped his thigh, deciding on the spot. We'll invite the entire village to celebrate our Lamb family's little daughter coming home. 3 days later, our yard was set up with 10 large cooking stations, and the most famous catering team in town was hired. The yard was filled with round tables and benches, stretching as far as the eye could see. I was compelled to wear the purple mink coat my mother had bought me on market day. Vuong Kwef Fan had personally braided my hair into 2 pigtails and added red ribbons. Looking at myself in the mirror, I could only remain silent. Beautiful, so beautiful. My mother's eyes welled up. My daughter looks beautiful no matter what she wears. As evening approached, the lights blazed. They were actually 200W floodlights hung all over the yard. Almost the entire village was present. The chatter and laughter were more boisterous than market day. My father grabbed a megaphone and jumped onto a platform in the middle of the yard. Hello, everyone quiet down. Today is the happiest day of my life, Lam Bao Kwok. My daughter Ngayat has returned. Immediately, all eyes turned to me. My mother pushed me forward, and with a stiff face, I stepped ahead. This is my daughter Ngayat Kai. She will be staying here in Caution Village with us. We hope everyone will help her. Applause resounded, then came the highlight of the evening. My father raised his hand. Ngayat, come greet everyone. I was swept into the enthusiastic crowd. Ngayat, I'm your third uncle. A thick red envelope was thrust into my hand during the introductions. Ngayat, I'm your fourth aunt, you're a good girl, you've suffered, here's another one. Ngayat, I'm your maternal cousin. Ngayat, this is your second aunt. Hands reached out all around me, stuffing red envelopes into my pockets. My coat pockets noticeably bulged, heavy as if about to fall off. I was like a robot, just nodding and repeatedly saying, thank you, smiling until my face felt stiff. Just as I was about to be drowned in a sea of red envelopes and turn into the party's mascot, someone at the gate shouted, The venerable patriarch and matriarch have arrived. The voice sounded like singing. Everyone immediately stopped and turned their heads in unison. The crowd parted, forming a straight path. Two silver-haired elderly people, one leaning on an ebony walking stick, slowly walked towards me, assisted by someone. Though dressed simply, their presence silenced the entire yard. My mother, Vuongque Fan, quickly grabbed my hand. "Ngayat, hurry, that's your great-grandfather and great-grandmother. Go greet them." "Great-grandfather, great-grandmother, I'm Ngayat Ngayat." I used all the obedience I had cultivated over 20 years in the Kai family. Great-grandfather said nothing, just squinted, scanning me from head to toe, his gaze like someone examining the most precious watermelon in his field. Great-grandmother's eyes were red, her shaky hands gripped mine tightly. "Such a good girl, so good, it's good that you've come home, it's good that you're back." She gently wiped tears from the corners of her eyes. "For 20 years, you were alone in the city, knowing no one. It must have been very hard, wasn't it?" I didn't know how to answer. I probably couldn't tell them the truth, that I lived in a luxurious villa, studied at an international school, had endless money to spend, and my biggest hardship was choosing which designer bag matched my outfit each morning. It's all right, great-grandmother. It wasn't too hard, actually." After saying that, I felt guilty, my voice growing softer and softer. "This child is so good, she knows we old folks worry, that's why she says that." Great-grandfather nodded, his voice resonant. Great-grandmother patted my hand, gesturing to the middle-aged man beside her. He stepped forward, holding a brand new wooden box. The box was opened, and golden light shimmered. "Ngayat, this is a solid gold longevity lock, weighing exactly 1 kilogram. Your great-grandmother specially ordered it for you. Wearing this will keep you connected to Caution Village, safe and healthy. 1 kilogram, great-grandfather, this is too heavy." It really was heavy. Wearing it, I felt like I'd developed the neck strength of Vajra. "Heavy? What's heavy?" Great-grandfather waved his hand, full of vigor. "The descendants of our Lamb family must wear this. Come here, granduncle will put it on you." As soon as he finished speaking, he quickly took the gold lock and put it around my neck. Click, a soft sound. Your neck is very good, very beautiful," great-grandmother said, her eyes crinkled like chrysanthemums. "Our granddaughter looks very majestic wearing this." My neck was stiff. I awkwardly turned to my mother, hoping for some aesthetic comfort, but to my surprise, I saw Vuongque Fan happily taking continuous photos with her phone. "Beautiful, absolutely beautiful." "Come on, Ngayat, smile. I've already posted it on my social media feed." My father, Lam Bao Kwok, was raising a glass with some of the men in the village. Come on, let's celebrate my daughter's return home. Bottoms up." I stood amidst the crowd, feeling like I was being carried by the wind, my mood completely unstable. As I stood there, awkward and unsure what to do, a piercing female voice cut through the air. "Is this the city girl Bao Kwok brought back? She's pretty, but her physique doesn't look like that of a farmer." The atmosphere suddenly quieted. I slowly looked up, following the voice, to see a middle-aged woman with permed hair, next to a pensive man, and a young girl looking down at her phone. They didn't make much of an impression on me. "Hold your tongue, woman, just say what you mean." The man grabbed her arm. "I'm just speaking the truth." The woman snapped his hand away, scanning me with a judging gaze from head to toe. "I heard you lived comfortably in the city for 20 years. Now you've suddenly come back to a rural place like ours. Will you adjust? Don't complain about the hardship after a few days and run back to the city. Wouldn't it be a waste for your parents to make such a big deal out of this?" My heart sank. Here it was, finally. Life had finally made a move on me. Before I could say anything, Vuongque Fan spoke up. "Mrs. Tai, what do you mean by that? My daughter is home. Whether she adjusts or not, what does that have to do with you? Mind your own business, don't be idle and meddle in other people's affairs." I made a mental note of Mrs. Tai's name. Despite being scolded by Kwe Fan, Mrs. Tai showed no apprehension. "Sister-in-law, I'm just asking because I'm concerned for everyone. Look at how delicate the girl's skin is. We don't raise lazy people here in Caution Village. Will she be able to handle farm work later? Our family has so much work, will she know how to manage it? Don't let her be clueless about everything, only knowing how to spend and enjoy herself." After she spoke, many villagers' gazes at me changed. My great-grandfather subtly furrowed his brow but said nothing. My great-grandmother gripped my hand tighter. My father, Lam Bao Kwok, put down his wine glass, his expression turning serious. As he prepared to speak, I took a deep breath, gripped the golden lock tightly, and stepped forward. "Mrs. Tai is right," I said clearly. "I truly grew up in the city, have never farmed, and understand nothing about growing crops." Mrs. Tai's lips curled slightly, but I continued. "Now that I'm here, I want to learn seriously." Mom and dad, grandparents, great-grandparents, and all the uncles and aunts, I'm not afraid of difficulties and I'm not afraid of hard work. I know my starting point is very low, but I can learn starting with the simplest tasks. Watering plants, fertilizing, weeding, anything is fine. I became more and more excited as I spoke. I know you might think I'm a weak young lady who can't endure hardship, but I will prove it with my actions. Tomorrow I will go to the fields right away. Mrs. Tai, if you're worried, feel free to supervise me. If I don't do well, you can scold me freely. My daughter is so sensible. Vuongque Fan's eyes began to redden. Did you hear that? My daughter has spirit. Bao Kwok was full of pride. Many villagers began to look at me with friendlier eyes. Mrs. Tai was taken aback by my unexpected response. Her expression shifted slightly. She snorted. Anyone can talk, but doing it is what matters. You're right, I immediately agreed. A good attitude, in reality, is the only standard to verify the truth. So, Mrs. Tai, do you have any work that needs doing in your fields? Or should I come help you? You can teach me directly, and if I make any mistakes, you can correct me right away. Someone chuckled. I was a bit puzzled. Is there something funny? I later learned that Mrs. Tai's family only had a little over 10 acres of land. I didn't know if they understood that I had no intention of mocking them, but I truly didn't mean it that way. Mrs. Tai's face turned pale, and her daughter, who was playing on her phone, also looked up and mumbled, Mom, you can tell Sister Ngayat is highly educated and knowledgeable. Who knows, she might even be better at farming than you. We only have a few small plots of land, don't make us a laughing stock anymore. Shut up, Mrs. Tai snapped at her daughter. Just at that crucial moment, my great-grandfather, the peacemaker, cleared his throat. All right, Ngayat's good intentions are commendable. There's nothing our Lam family descendants can't learn. Bao Kwok, in a few days, you'll take Ngayat to tour our greenhouses and gradually teach her step by step. Yes, I understand, Dad, Lam Bao Kwok answered loudly. My agricultural training was officially put into the plan. However, my mother thought I should meet the other villagers first. Coincidentally, the next day there was a wedding in the village. My mother took me to broaden my knowledge. There was a custom called making wedding dumplings. I found it interesting, so I immediately rolled up my sleeves to learn. Although my skills were still poor, I learned diligently, and the dumplings weren't too bad. Mrs. Tai was also there, kneading dough and looking at me with a sarcastic gaze. Ngayat, kneading dough is very hard, with such soft skin, don't go complaining about sore hands now. I just smiled and said nothing. On the third day, the accountant for the village cooperative suddenly resigned, and many of the account books were messed up. I heard my father complaining, so I curiously went to take a look. Can I try? I asked shyly. Half an hour later, I had clearly reorganized all the items. The head of the cooperative patted my shoulder in praise. Bao Kwok's daughter is really smart, truly an educated person. Mrs. Tai, standing in the crowd, spoke up coldly. What's the use of knowing how to calculate? Does she know how to work in the fields? Don't let her ruin Bao Kwok's thousands of acres of land. Because she was an elder, I didn't retort. Perhaps she saw me as easily bullied because her words became even more unpleasant. When I was washing vegetables by the well, she said, the well water is very cold, don't let the young lady get cold hands. When I fed the chickens, she sneered, be careful, lest the chickens peck your precious hands. Even when I sat in the yard using my laptop to research greenhouse farming techniques, she didn't relent. Look, that computer looks pretty fancy, don't let it get dusty in the countryside. Well, of course, she's a city girl, why should she suffer like us? She's just here for a few days because it's new, then she'll leave anyway. That day was really hot. I was helping my father process an order for newly imported organic fertilizer when Mrs. Tai crept over again. Bao Kwok, honestly, you've spoiled your daughter too much. How can she possibly do these things? Don't let her mix fertilizer formulas before she even finishes the accounts. The damage would be enormous. In my opinion, it's fine for the girl to just sit at home watching TV, playing on the computer, and being a guest. My father furrowed his brow. Before he could speak, I closed my laptop and stood up. Auntie, I approached her, my voice calm. You're right, I genuinely haven't farmed before. Mrs. Tai's face clearly showed a "see, I told you so" expression, but I shifted my tone, pointing towards the distant greenhouses. The third support beam on the west side of greenhouse number 3 is misaligned. It needs to be reinforced within the next 2 days, or there will be problems when strong winds come. The tomatoes in greenhouse number 5 are showing early signs of late blight, so the humidity should be reduced by 5% and fungicide sprayed. As for the emerald cucumber variety the cooperative imported last year, given the temperature differences here, its fruit-setting rate is lower than native varieties, so a partial switch should be considered. I spoke continuously, and the air around us unexpectedly fell silent. Mrs. Tai gaped speechless. My father was also surprised for 2 seconds, then slapped his thigh with a asterisk thwack asterisk. Right, and Guyot did mention that beam to me. I felt it was off but didn't know why. Daughter, how did you discover the tomatoes were sick? There are tiny spots on the underside of the leaves. I checked the documents. My grandmother, who was washing vegetables by the well, looked up. Tai, did you hear that? That's called scientific farming. Your family's old farming almanac should be put away now. Mrs. Tai's face flushed red. After a moment, she managed to say, "What's so great about being able to read books?" "Nothing great at all," I said, sitting down and opening my laptop again. "It's just to help Dad save money, earn a little more profit, and not let people look down on our descendants with outdated almanacs." The screen displayed a graph comparing agricultural product prices in the region and on e-commerce platforms. Mrs. Tai tried to look but clearly understood nothing. She pouted. "Just making dazzling, colorful charts, making one's eyes blur. Farming relies on ancestral experience, hard work that has been paid for. Can your fancy technology be eaten? Do you even see the fields that need fertilizing?" Some aunts and uncles working nearby stopped and turned their gaze towards us. The atmosphere seemed tense. "Auntie," I began, "this chart shows that in July, the wholesale price of vegetables decreased by 15%, while the online selling price increased by 10%. This is data analysis that helps us increase our income and avoid being forced into lower prices without knowing why." Mrs. Tai was stunned by my words, saying it sounded like a fairy tale. Is farming really that complicated? At this point, third uncle, who was still sitting by the well, laughed and spoke up. "Tai, if you don't know, don't talk nonsense. This is called science. Do you even understand what science is?" There were a few soft laughs and nods of agreement around us. Mrs. Tai couldn't take it anymore. Her hand holding the vegetable basket trembled. Finally, she glared at me angrily, gritting her teeth. "You're very good, you really are. We honest farmers don't play fancy games like you." I watched her shadow as she walked away, then looked down at my own pale hands. To be honest, I wasn't even sure I could hold a hoe. The next morning, I woke up early, dressed in my work clothes, a green fabric shirt and pants that fit quite well, though the fabric was a bit stiff. I wanted my father to teach me how to farm. Lam Bao Kwok looked like he was about to drop his pipe. "You really want to learn?" "Very much so, but can you teach me in a somewhat scientific way?" My father waved his hand decisively. "Of course, it has to be scientific. Everything we do in our family needs science. Come on, I'll introduce you to our fields first. 5,000 acres of greenhouses, each cultivating a different type of fruit or vegetable." My father spoke at length, as if telling a precious story, but I didn't understand a word. In the end, I only remembered one type of weed. "Angayat, see? This area is an experimental field for new tomato varieties. The plants are still young, and weeds grow very fast. Today's task is to remove all the weeds here. Remember not to damage the young plants." My father handed me a hoe for weeding. "Use this, it's less tiring. I'll go check over there for a bit. Just take your time, call if you don't understand anything." I took the tool, squatted down, and began my first practical labor session in my life, a far cry from caring for ornamental gardens at home. Honestly, weeding was quite relaxing, though squatting for a long time made my legs a bit numb. I was working with great enthusiasm when my phone rang. I took off one muddy glove and struggled to pull my phone from my pocket. The screen flashed the 2 words Van Vu. Oh, I almost forgot about him. Tham Van Vu, my boyfriend, was currently pursuing a master's degree abroad. He was the type of young master raised impeccably since childhood, like in a novel, with a noble and gentlemanly aura. Before, we were perfectly matched in social standing, but now, reality was far from a fairy tale. Was he calling because he had returned? "Hello, Ngayat, I'm back, surprised. Are you busy this afternoon? Let's go watch a movie, then to your favorite restaurant. I've already ordered the caviar you love. Where are you? I'll come pick you up." I had anticipated this. I felt a mix of happiness and an unspeakable sadness. This afternoon? I looked at the vast green expanse in front of me and the weeds I held in my hand. "I probably can't go. I have some things to do." He immediately acted spoiled. "I called you as soon as I got off the plane. Just come with me for a little while, put everything else aside." He probably thought I was preparing to go to a spa or go shopping with my best friends. I took a deep breath, deciding to be honest. I'm a bit busy, I'm weeding, I said, my voice very serious. On the other end of the line, he chuckled softly, his voice full of affection. What have you taken a fancy to now? Is your shopping cart full? Or do you have a list of limited edition items? Send it to me, I'll buy them for you. I was surprised and immediately explained. No, Van Vu, I'm really weeding, in the fields with my hands, actually weeding. He sounded curious. What new experience are you trying now? What suburb? I'll send the driver to pick you up. He had interpreted my actions in his own way. In his mind, I was probably following some trend of living close to nature. I sighed, knowing that simply saying it wouldn't make him understand. At this moment, he and I were two people belonging to two different worlds. My heart suddenly felt sad. Van Vu, I'm not kidding. I'm not in the city, I've come home. My biological family is in Caution Village. My real family are farmers and I'm genuinely weeding in the fields. I tried to express it as concisely as possible. What? He was stunned. What do you mean, real family? It seemed the Kai family hadn't had time, or didn't know how, to announce this news. Well, it's a long story. In short, I'm learning to farm now, so please don't bother me for a while, I have a lot of work to do. What are you saying? I don't follow you. I paused for a moment, keeping my voice calm. Forget about me, Van Vu, we can't be together anymore. Before he could answer, I hung up. I squatted down, covering my face with my hands, tears flowing uncontrollably. Goodbye, limited edition designer bags. Goodbye, my favorite Michelin-starred restaurants. From now on, I will become a new generation farmer in Caution Village. Goodbye, Van Vu. In the end, our statuses are still vastly different. I wiped away my tears. No, I can't. I still have many weeds to pull. The next day, I ate 2 bean cakes and a grilled pork hock. Only after eating my fill did I have the energy to work. I went back to the fields with my hoe to pull weeds. Engayet, my father's loud voice, lamb bao quack, echoed from the other end of the greenhouse. Come home quickly. Something urgent has come up. What is it, Dad? I haven't finished weeding yet. Don't weed anymore. Great-grandfather and great-grandmother want you home for a meeting. It's about you. As I entered the meeting room in the 5-story house in the center of the village, I was surprised by the atmosphere inside. Great-grandfather and great-grandmother sat in the middle. My paternal grandparents, my parents, and several elderly aunts and uncles with serious expressions sat on either side. Mrs. Tai, her husband, and her daughter were also present. The atmosphere was as tense as a violin string. Engayet has returned, great-grandfather said, his voice resonant. Sit down. I obediently sat on the chair next to my mother, feeling like I was attending a village committee meeting. Today, we've called everyone here mainly to discuss 2 issues. Great-grandfather looked around. Firstly, Engayet's return is a joyous occasion, but just throwing a party isn't enough. The Lam family's daughter must have a legitimate and recognized status. My father immediately nodded. Dad means we must record it in the family genealogy. Choose an auspicious day, open the ancestral hall, and record Engayet's name in the Lam family registry. I was a little surprised. So your surname will naturally be Lam, but as a person you cannot forget your origins. You must also remember the kindness of the other family who raised you. Great-grandfather paused for a moment, then asked me, therefore, your name will be changed to Lam Kai Engayet. How do you feel about that? Yes, I don't object. Secondly, he stared at Mrs. Tai. What you said at the party the other day did not make anyone feel comfortable. Mrs. Tai's face turned white. Engayet is a descendant of the Lam family. For 20 years, she lived outside, enduring who knows how many hardships. Now that the girl is back, she is one of us. And as one of us, there can be no idleness. Bao Kwok's enterprise is something he built himself. The girl is his biological daughter, so taking over is natural. If she doesn't know, she must learn. Who is born knowing how to farm? Mrs. Tai bowed her head, almost collapsing onto her chest. But great-grandfather looked at me, his eyes softening a little. Engayet, I should also speak objectively. Mrs. Tai is not wrong when she says that no one raises lazy people in Caution Village. If you want to receive true recognition, determination alone is not enough. You must also prove it with ability. I sat up straight. Great-grandfather, just tell me, what do I need to do? He and my father exchanged glances. My father nodded and then said, here's the thing, daughter. Our family is negotiating with a large supermarket in the province. They've ordered a batch of high-quality organic strawberries, specifically requesting the Princess Snow White variety. This variety is difficult to grow, requiring very high standards for temperature, humidity, and light. Our family has just completed an interconnected smart greenhouse, which is ideal for growing this variety. I plan to put you in charge of that project as a learning experience. What do you think? I was stunned. Me, I'll be in charge, Dad. I can only just distinguish between weeds and vegetables. If you don't know, you must learn. My mother gently patted my hand. But what if I mess it up? If you mess it up, I'll take responsibility, my father affirmed strongly. But I believe my daughter is intelligent and will definitely succeed. Be confident so the whole village knows whether Lam Bao Kwok's daughter has capability or not. At this point, I couldn't back down anymore. Okay, Dad, great-grandfather, I will study seriously and try my best to grow strawberries. Great-grandfather nodded, satisfied. That's more like a descendant of our Lamb family. The meeting adjourned. Everyone stood up and left one by one. As Mrs. Tai walked past me, she paused for a moment, saying coldly, "Growing strawberries isn't as easy as weeding, you know," then walked away. Strawberries, the thing I love to eat most is strawberries. Is it really that difficult to grow strawberries? As I was lost in thought, I rounded a corner and unexpectedly saw a black Maybach parked in front of our gate. The car door opened, and a pair of long legs stepped out. Tham Van Vu, with his handsome appearance, stood before me. Ah, he's still as handsome as ever. I unconsciously gave a wry smile. Wait, no, I couldn't let beauty blind me. Now I had important work to do. I couldn't let emotions hinder my career path. He looked at me and I looked back at him. Ngayat, are you experiencing life or actually farming? Tham Van Vu approached me. Stop, don't come any closer. I held up my muddy hand to stop him. What are you doing here? We already broke up. He stopped 3 meters away, scratching his head with a confused expression. What did you say? The wind's too strong, I can't hear you clearly. I took a deep breath, wiped the dirt from my hands, and tried to remain calm. Van Vu, if you found your way here, you must know about my family's situation. He remained silent, implying agreement. I continued. This is Caution Village, where I truly belong. I'm no longer the young lady of the Kai family, so we should break up. Oh, just because you've become a farmer, you want to end this relationship? Yes, my life's plan has changed. I want to stay here, learn to cultivate, and later manage our family's greenhouses, making them grow strong. But Tham Van Vu interrupted me, rubbing his chin. You once planted a cactus and let it die. Isn't farming a bit extreme for you? I internally cursed myself. I had completely forgotten about that when I accepted the strawberry project. I couldn't even care for a succulent, and now I was talking about growing strawberries. That's in the past, I retorted. Everyone has to grow up. Now I recognize over a dozen types of weeds, and I can even read soil charts. My dad just put me in charge of the Princess Snow White strawberry growing project. Then I'll invest in a strawberry farm here, he began to plan. I'll hire experts as technicians. No, I said firmly, I want to grow them myself. From the seedling stage, I'll do everything myself. He was silent for a moment, then asked, Are you sure? Absolutely sure. Well, not entirely sure, actually. We glared at each other, standing in the field, our styles completely opposite. My work clothes were covered in mud and dirt. He, in his luxurious English-style jacket, had a radiant, handsome face, and not a single strand of hair was out of place. An old uncle leading a buffalo passed by, gave us a look, and sighed, shaking his head. I heard him mumble, Young people these days, when they're in love, they look like they're about to fight. After that, Tham Van Vu remained silent, deep in thought for a long time, then finally said, I'm also researching a new topic now, crossbreeding high-quality Snow White strawberry varieties, so we could collaborate on research. No, I coldly refused. We've already broken up, you don't need to follow me anymore. Who says I'm following you? He frowned, his expression even colder than mine. Since we've broken up, from now on we are no longer lovers. I'm just researching my topic. With that, he turned away. My heart tightened. I quickly took 2 steps. Are you just leaving? He stopped, turning back with an expressionless face. What, is that not allowed? So, can we be friends? I asked, looking down. What an embarrassing question. Who wants to be friends with an ex-lover? But he was my first love. First loves are always beautiful, and besides, we broke up peacefully. Couldn't we be friends? Sure enough, he said he'd never been friends with an ex. Fine, I hesitated a bit, still plucking up the courage to ask. So what kind of relationship will we have from now on? Will we never see each other again? He thought for a moment. Village friends. I was stunned. Village friends? Then I saw this village friend turn his back to the car and pull a complete camping set from the trunk. Why did he bring a tent? Then I watched him professionally pitch a tent in the empty space near our gate. No, this isn't right. I came to my senses. He had clearly prepared in advance. Done, he said. From now on, we're both village friends and neighbors. At this moment, my mother, Vuonque Fan, heard the noise and poked her head out of the yard. "Ngayat, who is that, dear?" I immediately blocked him. "No one at all. Oh my, this young man looks really handsome. Is he your friend? Why is he pitching a tent at the door? Quickly invite him inside." "Mom, he's not." I tried to explain, but I didn't know what to say. Tham Van Vu stood up and smiled politely. "Hello, Auntie. I'm Ngayat's boyfriend, Tham Van Vu. This is our first time meeting. Thank you for taking care of her." "Didn't we just break up? Boyfriend?" My mother's eyes lit up and she ran out of the yard. "Oh, my dear boy, such a handsome face, such a good figure. Ngayat, why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Mom, we already broke up. Why is he pitching a tent here? Quickly invite him inside." Before I could finish, my mother interrupted. She warmly invited him. "We have empty rooms, it's dark and cold outside, and there are mosquitoes. With such delicate skin, how can you stand it?" "Mom, don't be fooled by his looks." Tham Van Vu smiled gently at my mother. "Thank you, Auntie, but I'm fine in the tent. Ngayat is still angry, and I don't want to upset her further. Being here is already very good." Oh my, every word he spoke reeked of green tea. Why hadn't I realized he was so scheming before? My mother, on the other hand, was so moved she almost cried, turning to look at me with a punishing glare. "Look at him. Has he learned manners yet? Has he learned to be accommodating? Why are you being so unreasonable? Quickly invite him inside." "Me, unreasonable? Who's causing trouble here?" Then my mother said, "He must be very hungry after traveling all this way. Wait a moment, I'll go make something for you to eat." With that, she immediately turned back into the yard. Only Tham Van Vu and I remained, facing each other across the newly pitched tent. I really didn't know what to do. "Tham Van Vu, you're truly absurd." I crossed my arms. "I think it's very meaningful," he said. He took Evian mineral water and a small salad from a cool box. "Ngayat, have you eaten anything yet? I have pasta salad." "Mko Muon Kong?" "I've eaten already." I stomped my foot angrily. "Grilled sticky rice cakes and pork hock are better than your grass leaf dishes." He froze for a moment, looked at the salad box in his hand, pouted, and mumbled, "Ah, you've already eaten grilled pork hock." His face looked very sad, his eyes downcast, and he even wiped away tears so pitiful. Why should I pity him? Or maybe I'll take him out to eat tomorrow. Rumors in the village spread like 5G waves. As soon as I looked up, Auntie Tuhu came over, carrying a basin of edamame. Her eyes were like headlights shining from a car, fixing on the tent. "Oh, Ngayat, who's that? Why is he camping in front of your house? Are you eloping? He looks dashing." "Eloping? What are you talking about?" Before I could say anything, Tham Van Vu smiled politely. "Hello, Auntie, I'm Ngayat's fiancé, Tham Van Vu. It's a pleasure to meet you." "Thank you for taking care of her." "Fiancé again? Who agreed?" Auntie Tu owed, her eyes darting back and forth between us, clearly eager to watch the drama unfold. "A city boy, huh? Anyone can tell he's not suited for our countryside. So, Ngayat, are you going back to the city with him to enjoy a comfortable life? Then who will take over Bao's strawberry farming?" She deliberately hit a sensitive spot. I immediately retorted, "Who says I'm going back to the city? I'm staying here to grow strawberries. If I can't grow them, I'll change my name." Tham Van Vu looked at me, then at her. "I have no intention of taking her away. I'm here to support her. Growing strawberries is also a very good skill." Auntie Tu pouted. "Sounds good, doesn't it? You people who have never touched field water before want a farm. Be careful not to mistake strawberry plants for weeds." I was about to retort, but someone had already interrupted me. Tham Van Vu smiled. "Who is born knowing everything? Like you, Auntie, were you born knowing how to satirize others? You too have a natural talent for farming. You could pick up a hoe as soon as you fell to the ground." "What kind of talk is that?" "I'm just speaking the truth." Tham Van Vu stood up, taller and more imposing. "If Ngayat wants to learn, I will learn with her. If she doesn't know, I will find the materials. If you have experience, we'd be very grateful to learn. If not, please step aside." "I'm researching soil pH." Auntie Tu's face flushed red like a ripe berry. She changed direction and walked away, carrying her basin of edamame. I felt inwardly delighted but tried to maintain a cool demeanor. "Why are you defending me? We no longer have any relationship. I still have to live here. Now she hates me even more." He still smiled calmly. "I'm not defending you, I'm just researching." "Researching what?" I retorted. "You studied finance. What are you doing farming strawberries?" "I double majored with a minor in agriculture." "Is that not allowed?" He winked. "My father invests in a biotech company. They're researching disease-resistant genes for strawberries. It's perfectly reasonable for me to come and take samples." I thought to myself, if you're handsome, everything you say is right. And so, on my journey of independence, an uninvited stalker appeared. My ex-boyfriend, now my village friend, Tham Van Vu. He actually lived in the tent, complete with full equipment, a laptop, portable soil testing devices, and even a mini weather station. Every morning at 6 a.m., he would knock on my door. Lam Kai and Gayat, let's go to the greenhouse. I groggily opened the door, my face showing my displeasure. Tham Van Vu, the chickens in the village haven't even woken up and you're already up. Early birds catch the worm, early farmers harvest wealth. He handed me a thermos. Hand-brewed coffee to help you wake up. That's a bit kind of you. In the morning, everything seemed fine, but by afternoon, problems arose. Some seedlings suddenly withered, their leaves turning yellow. I panicked like ants on a hot pan, wondering if it was overwatering, fertilizer burn, or plant disease. Tham Van Vu crouched down, gently picked up a bit of soil. Let's check the underside of the leaves. Did you mix the organic fertilizer incorrectly? I'm sure not. The instructions clearly state a maximum of 5 kg per acre. How much did you use? 8 kilograms. Tham Van Vu shook his head. Are you growing strawberries or salting them? I was almost in tears. What do we do now? Replace the soil, dilute, increase ventilation, he said, standing up and rolling up his sleeves. What are you still standing there for? Go get the shovel. For the next 3 days, we were like doctors curing the plants, caring for each one individually. I handled digging and replacing the soil while he prepared the nutrient solution. I was completely exhausted, my back aching, shoulders tired, hands swollen with 2 blisters. Tham Van Vu wasn't much better. His hair was as messy as a bird's nest. I felt like his head was about to burst into flames. In the evening, I sat by the edge of the field, eating roasted sweet potatoes my mother had brought, offering him one. He hesitated a bit, then took it, imitating me, peeling it and taking a bite. How is it? I asked. Much more delicious. Suddenly, I felt touched. You don't really need to work so hard. Go back to the city. This place is very good. He cut me off, looking towards the village, which was already lit up. Sweet potatoes, is this what it feels like? He paused. You know, you looked very cute when you were growing strawberries. My face flushed, and I kept eating sweet potatoes with my head down. I once thought growing strawberries was simple. Just plant them, water, and fertilize. But in reality, it was much harder than I thought. First, red spider mites attacked, then gray mold disease. Prolonged rain made the fruits rot faster than my wallet emptied. Every day, we had to crawl into the greenhouse to check for diseases, removing each damaged fruit. He called it the daily diagnosis of the strawberry ICU. Next, the leaves started to turn yellow. Tham Van Vu held the test results, frowning. Magnesium deficiency, calcium deficiency. Do they want to grow taller so they need calcium? Finally, flocks of birds came, pecking the freshly ripened red fruits to pieces. We were forced to put up bird netting. 2 months later, the first batch of strawberries bloomed. The delicate little white flowers were very cute. Tham Van Vu and I squatted in front of the flower beds as if we were admiring our own children. Pollination needs bees, I said, but there are no bees here. Artificial pollination? Tham Van Vu handed me a small paintbrush. Gently now, like this. He demonstrated, using the tip of the paintbrush to gently touch the stigma of the flower. His movements were very gentle. I tried to imitate him, but my hands and feet were a bit clumsy. Slow down, he grabbed my wrist. That's right, just like that. His hand was very warm. My heart pounded. Tham Van Vu, has your research data been sufficient yet? Almost. Then why haven't you left? He was silent for a moment, released my hand, and continued pollinating the next flower. I haven't eaten the strawberries yet, he said. On harvest day, my entire family and half the village came. The Princess Snow White strawberries, alternating red and white, looked like gemstones, large, round, and juicy. I picked the largest strawberry, wiped it clean, and offered it to Tham Van Vu. Try it. He took the fruit but didn't eat it, offering it back to me. You eat the first one. My mother, standing nearby, teased, why share? Each of you bite half. I felt embarrassed, quickly snatched the strawberry and put it in my mouth, but then the sour taste made me grimace. Why is it so sour? I almost cried. You picked an unripe fruit. The one over there, he pointed, that's the ripe one. No wonder he didn't taste it. In the end, we harvested dozens of overflowing baskets of strawberries. My father smiled so brightly his eyes disappeared. My grandfather slammed his hand on the table, deciding to organize a strawberry festival. We're using Gayat's grown strawberries to let the city people come and see our Caution villages, Princess Snow White strawberries. On the day of the festival, people were as numerous as ants. I wore the new dress my mother bought, standing with Tham Van Vu behind the exhibition stall. Aunt Queen was also present. She tasted a fruit, then remained silent before secretly slipping 2 more into her pocket. Seeing this, Tham Van Vu smiled and handed her a box. "Auntie, take these home for the whole family to enjoy." Auntie Queen's face turned red, she stammered. Growing them is quite good." Ha, this could be considered the best compliment. In the evening, the crowd dispersed. Tham Van Vu and I sat by the edge of the field, gazing at the greenhouses stretching one after another under the sunset. "What do you want to grow next?" he asked. "Watermelons or try growing blueberries?" I said eagerly. "Let's turn Caution Village into a high-end fruit production area." "Good," he nodded. "I'll invest." "Who needs your investment?" I looked at him with a stern gaze. "I'm not investing in you asterisk." He looked at me, his gaze warm like the evening sun. "I'm investing in Caution Village, Lam Kai and Gayat. Have you forgotten? Now I'm also one of our villagers, responsible for building up our homeland." My heart pounded. Later, my city parents came to Caution Village for summer vacation with Kai Lam Deem Deem, who now lives very comfortably with a wealthy life but still likes to squat in the vegetable garden to pick green onions. Kai's mother and Ms. Vuongque Fan eagerly exchanged experiences about garden irrigation systems. They chatted happily. Lam Bao Kwok and my father sat in the yard drinking wine together. Tham Van Vu officially became a member of our family meals as a potential business partner and son-in-law. I watched him, looking at our home filled with laughter, gazing at the thousands of fields outside the window. A fortune teller once predicted that I would have a destiny of lack. But now I realize that after hardship, not only joy but also something else exists: the genuine warmth of a home.